And we had limed and fertilized for the first 6 rows. I've limed and fertilized and plowed these in now. I do have some weeds to get up between the rows, but see, this end had a lot of leaves on it, and now it is all underground. My rows up here are not exactly straight, but they'll do. Next video, you'll see a bunch of ready-made garden, instant tomatoes on the poles. Well, my tomato plants made it to the river. It's Sunday, 26th of May. And I use a shovel to plant my tomatoes because they're in cartons and have 8 inches of root on them. And what I try to do is dig a bigger hole there and just slope the soil up to that post. And then I tie it up to the post. And see, I've done it times 13 holes. And all I have to do is dig 26 more holes and get them in the ground. Well, it's 5:30 on the East Coast on the 26th of May, which is a Sunday evening. And we got 19 of the 39 tomato plants planted. Still got a few in the barrels. We might put in a few more. Right now we've got Sweet 100 cherries for the first 10 in the first row, and 3 Rutgers, and 3 Rutgers in the end of these 2 rows. And see, they get the first sun in the morning, but now at 5:30 they don't have sun. If you think you got bad soil, when I plant these tomatoes, I dig a trench, lower at one end, angle back toward the stake, and this is what's in the bottom. This is clay, pure clay. And this was 1 inch under this soil when we started this garden. Now it's 8 to 10 inches under the soil. But unfortunately, when it rains, we have that clay bed at about 10 inches under this whole garden, and it's like a giant tub. It holds it, because out here it's only 1 inch of topsoil where this grass is, and then solid clay. So I've got 9 inches of clay all the way around the perimeter of this garden, and 10 inches below the garden, so it just holds the moisture, and too much rain, it can drown the roots. But that's what we had to start with. And unless you got some old clay like this, we get 14-foot tall tomatoes, and 300 to 500 cherry tomatoes, 35 butter boys. Salad tomatoes we'll get 125 a butter a plant, and Romas we'll probably get 80 to 110 a plant. But that's what we deal with here, clay. And this is a Wally World bag of our ties for this year. That is 3 pair of queen size pantyhose. I buy the big queen size because I get strange looks at the checkout counter, and it's more material in them. We've got 20 feet of Calypso pickling cucumber, which is my favorite, and we've got 20 feet of market more, and we've got 3 rows of 13 each of Sweet 100s, Better Boys, and some Rutgers on the end. And we still have these Romas to plant. That's weeds we're getting up from the garden. That's our list that's blown off the table of where everything was planted last year in the rows. We can also look at it from a video. So then in about 2 weeks, or 10 days or so, we'll plant some more cucumbers. And then we'll plant wait another week, 10 days, and plant some more. And that's where the Roma tomatoes are going to go. So instead of having less tomatoes this year, we're going to have more. We're going to have 52 plants. And that is their irrigation system. Once I get it all tied in with the drip lines, I'll tie this stuff together with these hose, and it'll just be one bundle going down through there. And that is the one I will tie on that little place right there by the post, and run it down on these cucumbers so that I can turn it on and get them wet. And see, all I had to do is tie my 33-foot long drip lines, and we put them down first, and then we put the tomatoes in the ground. Those tomatoes have 8 inches of root in the carton and another 8 inches before it comes out the soil. Once they root, we will have a ton of tomatoes. So anyway, 4:04 on the East Coast. The flowers on the end have faded. Fig trees are popping out. And we get a little bit of sun. Thanks for watching. And I do need to mention that my bride is down there weeding. I'm planting my seeds today and for the rest of my life with I'm Still Working's Redneck Seed Planter. I have a little tray on there. Now cucumber seed is sort of hard to grab them. You have to sort of bunch them down the corner and grab a few at a time. But it's nice to be able to do that and not lean over. That was a good idea she put on video last year. I don't know if I showed you my hoe. I cut this back myself. I cut it off and bent the blades back, and I can just put that in a row and drag it down through there like that. It's a lot easier to do if I didn't have a camera. And then I can plant what I need to plant in it. Another little secret. I pull this little thing down through here, see, and I got the little groove and I got the little seeds planted in there. And the secret is to use the back of a rake. And you can use the back of a rake like that and just pull soil. That one seed doesn't want to go down that hole. And you can just pull all that soil right back over all that. And the thing that people do not do is once you get that soil over it, you need to tamp it down. Now I've planted this 20 feet. And see how it's stamped down? I just plant them, I pull the soil over it, I just go right down the row where the seeds are. That gives me good contact, because when they come out, the root isn't very long and it's got to touch soil. And if it's in a lot of loose soil and can't get there, it won't germinate and grow leaves. So I'll just pull that back, and then I'll tamp them down, then I'll water them in. And they're the end containers. All I gotta do is dry them out and put them in a big old black hefty bag once they get dry. And only one of them had a bad bottom in it. The corner was cut out of it. And we'll use them again.